You have Cakewalk by Bandlab and you're like, man, I have just got this software. I'm excited about it. I'm ready to get right into it. This is what you're gonna do. When you go to File, normally you're greeted with what's called the Start screen. The Start screen is gonna allow you to create a new project, open recent projects, existing project, or demo project. So let's go back to the Start screen again. All right, and then I'm gonna go to New Project. Now, I'm gonna use the empty project. Once you get the empty project, we're gonna show you how to create some tracks. All right, so if you want to do just audio, like say you're a musician and you're like, hey, I'm a guitar player and a singer and I just want to do audio, so you can press Control-T. All right, add you a few tracks and then you're good to go. Now, once you get there, you want to set up your input. Input is very important, and your output. Output is normally set to master, but you can set this output to whatever you want to set it to. So right now I have it set to master. You can uncheck the show high pro channel if it's enabled, and if it's not enabled, then maybe you'll see it already. At the bottom, you can see my master set to out 3 and 4, which is great because on this particular mixer that I'm using a Zoom Live Track L8. I can actually control my mixer with channel 8. And then now I have kind of separation, so I can bring down what you hear coming out of Cakewalk while I'm recording this video, but you still hear my mic really good even if I bring the volume down from Cakewalk. Once you have your output set, then you want to go back to track 1. Make sure that the input is set to wherever you are. So this has 12 ins and 4 outs. So I'm going to set mine to N1 3L. Now, if I set it to 4R N2, then I'm not going to get a signal at all. So you want to make sure you have it set on the same thing. And for some particular interfaces or mixers, you might get one side. So if you get one side on your device, then that means you still have it on the wrong setting. Make sure you put it on the right setting. And then once I do that, I can just simply record, do some talking, blah, 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 blah. Now you're wondering like, hey, what was that clicking noise that I just heard? Simply record, do some talking, blah, blah. You notice you don't hear it on the recording, but you heard it while I was recording the part. This is called the metronome. The metronome is right up here at the top. And you can see that there is a metronome during recording, which is F3. So I can press F3 to turn it on or turn it off. Now, if I want to change the settings of it, like if I want to do a record count in, or if I want to do a beat division, subdivision, this is a half count. Now I'm going really fast here. So if you're getting value out of this, definitely smash the subscribe button. If you got any questions about what you've heard so far, what you've seen so far, let me know in the comments. I love doing tutorials on this. I can change this metronome. I can change the volume of it. I can change exactly what instrument is playing. I can change where the output is coming from. Okay, so there's a bunch of things I can do. But this record counting is good if I want to record something and say I don't want it to come in right at the top. So I go up there, and now when I press record, it's going to wait before it actually starts recording. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now I have it subdivided on eighth notes. Yeah. All right. And if I didn't want that, I can go back to the metronome settings, which is here. It looks like a metronome. I can say, let's go back to quarter notes because I don't really care for that. Now, you might be a person and say, hey, man, for some reason, I'm still hearing this thing while I'm recording and I'm hearing it on the playback. Now, when I turn this off, I don't hear it. But if I go to the play metronome during playback, this is Control F3. So Control F3 turns that on, or I can press Control F3 to turn it off. Now, I hear the metronome while I'm playing. Now, that is not my intention. Sometimes you might want to hear the metronome while you're playing, but sometimes I'd rather just hear it while I'm recording. And then once you get enough tracks recorded, maybe you can turn the metronome off completely. Now, I'm using headphones, which is very important because if I wasn't using headphones and I was using these speakers here in front of me, which you can't see, those speakers would be producing that metronome sound. So when I record on the microphone, what does a microphone do? It picks up everything that it hears in the room. So if it hears that metronome, then the metronome is going to be stuck on the track. You will not be able to get rid of it. Okay. So if you're a person and you're like, man, I can't get rid of this metronome sound. If you're recording with the metronome and you're not using headphones, it's going to jack you up. I would advise you use headphones for whatever you record. You're playing drums, use headphones. If you're playing the guitar, use headphones. You're playing piano, use headphones. Now, if you have your headphones up so blasting that the metronome is bleeding through the microphone, then that might be one reason why you hear it, because sometimes you still might hear it. Now, these are closed, okay? These are closed back headphones. They're great for recording. If you want to mix, it's better to have open, so that way you can kind of hear what's going on in the room, and you can also still hear the sound really good, but they just kind of help you mix better. These I still use for mixing, but these are better for recording. Get you some like this. Doesn't have to be this expensive, okay? But if you're using some little cheap headphones that you got from Big Lots and they cost $5 and they're real thin, you're probably going to hear them bleed through, all right? You want to get something that covers a whole entire ear so you don't hear that sound. Now, if you're a person where you're recording like this and you got one ear off and one ear on, that's cool, you know? If you got your headphones on the microphone like this, then it's going to pick up the sound too as well. So I know you're experts at this. You know what you're doing. I just want to give you a heads up. All right, this is probably what's going on with that. Now, so you got your metronome. I recorded something. Now, I can record something through piano. I don't have it plugged up right now, but if you wanted to record something, you just plug an audio cable, 1/4 inch, whatever it is, into your mixer. Same process as recording the vocals. You just go to, and then let's say I put the keyboard on track 2, right? So I would do N2, and then when I plug into track 2 or channel 2 on my mixer, I can record my audio from my piano. All right. Now, if you're done recording and you say, that's cool, I'm done, then you can export this. But before you export it, let's talk about another way of recording in Cakewalk, because if you're a person that says, hey, I'm really just a beat maker, you know, I'm not really trying, you know, I'm going to get the beat to somebody else. Or you're a person that says, hey, I kind of just a musician, I'm doing instrumental stuff and I'm not doing audio. I just play keys and I really want to use the drums that are in Cakewalk, or I want to use some other drum sounds. Then you want to go about doing insert instrument. All right. Insert instrument is going to allow you to pick some of the various different sounds and instruments that come with Cakewalk. But if you don't want to use Cakewalks, that's fine. You can use whatever you have. Like I can use this Grand Rhapsody piano, or if I want to use some other type of sampler like Subdivine, I can use that as well. If I use Subdivine, I can put that in there. And then I can say, hey, you know, it creates a track for me. It opens up. I can play the sounds, and I have my controller up. I don't know if it's working. Let's see. If it's not working, you're like, man, I got a controller plugged up. It's not doing anything. Well, let's go check real quick. Let's go to Edit. Let's go to Preferences. Let's go to MIDI Devices. And I see my Impact LX25 is there. It's set for input. So I should be hearing it. So let's see if I need to go here. Let's go to Input, All Inputs. I can set on MIDI Omni. So I found out the simple fix was that I had it on the wrong octave. This one I have to turn the octaves down 2 octaves. Okay, now I can record some now. Same thing again. Now this time I don't have the metronome at all. Make sure the record is enabled. Press R. Yeah. Okay. All right, I recorded something. Yeah. All right. Once I recorded something, I said, dude, that's great. I am ready to export that thing. Now, if you want to go about mixing and adding effects to it, well, that's for another video. And I have several videos that talk about how to mix in Cakewalk. But this is just for you to get started. So hopefully so far you've learned that first you got to install it. And if you watched the previous video, then it tells you how to install Cakewalk. So you're not sure how to see that, it should pop up now. Then once you get in there, you should learn how to create your tracks, and you should learn how to set them up to record. But what happens, Just the Norm, if I'm trying to record, I'm not getting any sound whatsoever? This is where you need to go. You can press P or Preferences. Inside here, there's a few things you want to look at. Devices. First of all, make sure that your device is showing up. And you say, well, what kind of device am I using? If you're using the internal sound card that comes with your computer, then you want to make sure first that you have it on the playback recording. because I'm using ISO drivers because this mixer works with ISO. Your internal computer may not work with ISO. You have to find out, and most of them don't. So you might want to use Wasapi, shared or exclusive, or you might want to use MME or WDM. Okay, this is the worst case scenario. This is the preferred choice, Wasapi, or if Wasapi doesn't work, then use WDM. All right, so these are gonna offer you ability to use a sound card that you have. But if you are a person that you do use an interface, whether that's a Scarlett or I don't know, any type of other device that you have or interface that you have, then you want to have it set on ASIO. And the reason why I have it set on ASIO is going to give me the best latency possible. And then once you get there, you should be ready to record. So let's go back up to edit though, press P. And then now say, okay, well, I got my playback recording set up. That's cool. Now let me go up to devices. Now I should see my Scarlett up here. Now I don't have my Scarlett on here, but I see I've got ASIO for all. Maybe you're using a device that's not showing up properly or it's not working properly. ASIO for all is a plugin that you could download to use. I used to use it a lot. I don't really use it now, but it's because I have these devices that work really well. Oh, here's my Focusrite right here. Focusrite USB ASIO input. All right, so it's not enabled because it's not plugged up. But right now I'm using the Zoom. I have all of those inputs enabled. And then down here at the output, I have all the outputs enabled. Well, except for this one, I don't have 1 and 2 enabled. And that's because I'm using 3 and 4. But that's fine. You can enable as much as you want to or little as you want to, as long as you have something enabled. Then you want to go to driver settings. Right here, I'm saying my playback is on 3. All right, I'm saying my record is on master left. All right, I can set it to whatever I want to set it to, but right now that's what I have it set on. Sampling rate's 48. I could go higher. It goes all the way up to 384. I'm not trying to go that high. I can go down if I need to. I can adjust the ASIO panel, or I can adjust the buffer size. Now, some people asked, well, my buffer size is grayed out. I don't see it. What's going on? I can't move it. All right, so right now it's set on fast, but really what I need to do is go to my ASIO panel, and you might see that my buffer size is set to 256 samples, okay, which is basically giving me a really good latency. Latency means that from the moment that I hit the note on the keyboard, or from the moment that I say something like hi, that's the delay between the signal that's coming in, the audio signal, the analog signal that's coming in from the microphone, going into the computer, being converted to digital, then coming back out as analog so that way I can hear it on my headphones. So there's a delay there, and sometimes that may be the problem that you're finding. So if you're a person, you're having that issue, and you don't see the buffer size right here, you can't move it, then go to ASIO panel, or it might say something different, but you should be able to adjust it here, all right? But if you're a person, you say, hey, I'm using my internal sound card, or like when I'm using WDM or Wasapi or any of those functions, then you might see it here. Rule of thumb is faster you do it, it's going to be better latency. The slower or safer you do it, it's going to be worse latency. So then you're going to have a real delay between what you play and what you hear coming from the computer. Now, this is the way I think of it. When I'm recording, I'm trying to get that thing as fast as I can. When I'm mixing, I'm trying to get it as slow as I can. And the reason why, because when it's fast, it uses a lot more memory. So memory is the thing. You don't want to use all your memory up because then your computer may crash. And that's probably why you're having issues with it sounding glitchy or stuff is not working right. Or you're trying to put a whole bunch of effects on there and it's not working. So you have to remember that. And once I have that set up, then I could go about it and say, hey, dude, I'm good. Everything is working. I got my playback. I got it on set on ASIO. Got my drivers. My driver settings is cool. My buffer size is good. MIDI devices are set on whatever controller I'm using. This is another thing. If you have a controller you're using to record, or maybe you're using like a Yamaha piano like I have over here, you can use that via USB interface or whatever kind of interface it uses, and then you can record into it that way. You just gotta make sure you got this stuff set up. So once everything is set up, you should have no problem recording in here. If you're a person you're still having problems recording in here, I have a video that deals with troubleshooting Cakewalk. You can check that out right after this. But very specifically, if you have a certain question that you need the answer to, well, what can I say? Put that thing down in the comments. I'm gonna do my best to try to answer it. I do not know everything. And I always admit on this channel that I don't know everything. I'm still learning just like you, but I'm gonna share whatever I learn. So I hope you find value in this video so far. And I hope that you're one step closer to making the most banging hit that you can make in Cakewalk. This software is free for now. There's Cakewalk Sonar and there's Cakewalk Next that'll be released soon. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but when it happens, I'm gonna educate you on those just as well as I educate you on this particular software. Don't let it stop you. Download this software now while it's still free. Install it on your computer. I mean, the worst that can happen is that, I don't know, you create a few songs and maybe release them to the world. And maybe you're like, dude, well, I want to release my song, but don't know how to. Well, I have a link below for DistroKid that can help set you up. You can get this music out to the world. I've released songs through them. I've also released songs through Lander. You have no excuse, you all. Get cracking. Get in this software. Get into it, learn it. Look at my videos, look at others' videos. And if you have questions, once again, put them in the comments. Hopefully you've liked the video so far, and hopefully you subscribe to the channel because you might as well. I mean, I'm here to help you all out. I love doing this thing. So if you want to help support in any way, Cash App, Venmo, anything, great, I accept it. If you want to purchase my Just the Vox first preset, vocal preset called In Your Face, the link for that's down below. If you want to click on any of the affiliate links that I have below, this is how it helps. It helps me be able to put more income back into this channel so that way I can start doing more videos and so I can get better gear so that way I can make things better, so I can give away money. I want to give away money and I know I'm going to be able to do it. We already hit 3K and we're on our way to 4K. This family is growing. This community is growing. I'm excited. I'm sorry I'm talking so much. You came to a channel where I'm going to help you, but I love to talk, so I apologize for that. All right, I love you all. Woo! Peace.